And yeah, welcome back, Buddy, episode 7 now. Lucky 7.
Phew.
Today we have a very special guest, but first, as always, I'm joined by myself, Josh, sitting here front and center with the brother James Barlow here on my left.
How you going?
Ethan is sat to my right,
G'day.
and our special guest. You may know him as Blokes of the World. You can search him up on Instagram. Sticks, also known as Ben, has a PhD in boganology, and he is today joined, and his name is actually Adam, so give a quick g'day to Adam.
How's going?
There he is.
There he is, the bloke of the world
How
himself.
are you, brother? Up?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. How you going?
Good.
Yeah, not too bad, mate, not too
Good.
bad.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome
Yeah,
to-
cheers. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
That's a
Dive
pleasure.
into the mind of a very special human being. Right.
Doctorate in boganology.
yeah.
But yeah, as I said, hit him up on Instagram, give him a search. He's got a bit of a cult following going on now. For something as simple as posting absolute bevins, it's a work of art and certainly cheers up my day.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild. I didn't expect it to do what it did.
What do you mean?
But,
You're like climbing around, sitting around like 150k right now on Instagram.
157, I think it went over
Fucking
to
hell.
yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I remember you had a Twitter as well. You were posting about because Instagram wasn't zucking all your shit you were posting.
Yeah, they weren't happy with me.
Did they?
I don't think I still can be searched, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
have a
so.
lot of trouble finding you. It's,
Yeah.
you gotta
It
put the
all
whole
on
name
Twitter.
in.
Yeah. It's because I changed. I don't know why I did this. I think it's like a joke from the movie The Castle, but
Oh, yeah.
I made the Twitter handle Blokes of Twitter with an A because Eric Banner's character, when he's talking about being on the plane,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they're like,
yeah,
"What was the movie on the way back?" And he goes, "Twister." I think it was Twister. Was it Twister? So I was like, "Blokes of Twitter? Is it Twitter?" I'm using me Twitter. But
You're a smart man.
yeah. Yeah, so they just kept deleting.
No, it's-
Like at the moment, I've had a pretty good run. Like, I don't know what it is, but for a while, it was like anything that I put up was getting deleted, and then
Mm.
like I think recently it was like I'd go onto it, and then it would be like, oh, your post is fucking going against community guidelines or whatever, and I was like, whoa, what fucking post? I didn't fucking do anything. And then I'd go and check, and it's like one from like 7 months ago, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like how?
What are they pinning you for? Like for the community players and stuff?
Well, sometimes sexual like that's which is just like the beefs. Do you know that Instagram account?
Yeah.
Yeah. They put up. They usually do dumps of like stories. Like they post a lot of like blokes in a story, and they
Yep.
did one of like this bloke like sitting on a bull bar of a fucking truck with like short shorts, but just like had that kind of like blokey look on his face and shit. And I was like, oh, that's really funny. I'll screenshot it and put it up as a story, but tag him. And as soon as it fucking hit, like as soon as it went uploaded, it just goes, your post has been removed for nudity. It's like, what? And it's like, what? Because he's got fucking short shorts on. Like, that's
Fucking
the most weirdest fucking thing. And like, I sent it back, I screenshotted it and sent it back to them. And they're like, well, fucking, they've got it in for you. And I'm like, is yours still up? And they're like, yeah. I'm like,
What
it
the
doesn't make
fuck?
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take down theirs.
It's
But,
just,
yeah.
it's really fucking weird, some of the stuff. Like, some of the stuff I've like written, and it'll be like advocating violence was one, but it was like literally like I can't even remember what I said, but I purposely didn't say, like, I stopped doing the whole like I'll fucking smash ya. Like I stopped doing that ages ago because I was like, oh right, they don't really like that,
Yeah,
or they
fair
see it
enough.
as like a threat thing or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, fair enough.
I guess
Like,
so. You can still don't understand, but like, if you look at the page at all, you know, it's not one guy like actually saying he'll fucking smash ya.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, I'm like, surely you'd look at the photo and just go, oh, okay, like it's, you know. And I think, like,
yeah.
when I don't know if you guys were following me before, but I actually got deleted at 33,000
Really?
followers.
Oh, I
Sure.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
like completely deleted. And
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, do I keep doing it or what? And I'm like, fucking 33, like that's pretty full on.
People
So I
still
had,
would've-
sorry.
I was gonna say people still would have been looking you up.
Yeah, for sure. And like I had a backup, and then sort of just said to myself, I was just like, just go back through and like redo. And I think I put up a story even saying like, look, if you can send me anything you have from the old account, like I'll put them back up, and I might like change the caption a bit.
Yeah.
And so people actually sent in like all these screenshots of the old account, and I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like I can't believe people like saved all these things. So like I was sort of building it up, going along, and then they sort of every now and then I'd try and sign into the old one just to see, and every time I do it, it's just like, this account has been deleted, and I was just like, oh fuck's sake.
Fuck that.
And then one night I was just like, in the screen that comes up and says you've been deleted, I clicked back and it said, tell us why you think you shouldn't be deleted. And I was like, oh, like now I can fucking like plead my case. And I sort of wrote this like lengthy thing about it being like, what the account's about. Like I'm just like, it's not what you have pinned me for. Like it's a fucking it's like a half celebration, half piss take of like all that
human beings.
Yeah, all that bloke sort of, I don't know. I just sort of noticed that like for years and years and all of my life, and like shit that I've dealt with as well, is like blokes like that. Just like as much as people go like, oh, the Aussie battler and blah blah blah. It's like they tend to always come out on top in terms of like how they treat other people and how they act. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a bit like, this fucking cockhead, he fucking thinks fucking, and they talk like that, and it's like, how the fuck do you get away with talking like that to someone? Like you wouldn't be able to go into you, and like that's the craziest thing to me, is that there's still workplaces where blokes are like, nah, fucking dickhead over here, he's a poofter, like, and you're just like, wow, how can you get away with saying that?
Pretty much all those videos that you've put up where it's usually in a bar or smokers or something.
Yeah.
You can't count on your hand how many times I say cunt in the space of like 10 seconds.
Exactly. And it's like I was sort of saying to them, like, this is like, it's knocking that down a peg. It's making it seem ludicrous. Because I heard I can't remember the fucking who said it, but this quote, and I was like, oh, that's fucking amazing, is like the best way to make something not powerful or not like, a strong thing is to take it down with humor, is to like fucking pay it out, really. To like knock it down a peg and make it not so fucking,
it's like desensitizing it.
Yeah, like holding it in a high regard or some shit. You just go like, take the piss out of it and see and I'm just like, fuck it. Just take the piss out of that language, take the piss out of how it is. But also like, I love it because it makes me fucking laugh. Like it's
the fucking spark of my day. Like going through it, you never insinuate anything. You never say, "Oh, go raid the Capitol building" or some shit. Like it's literally, it's literally just putting up funny photos of some fucking Bevan.
Yeah, well, like I mean, I can see. Yeah, and I can see like people. Like I mean, I've got fucking stories of like how this account has like affected things in my life, but like like when people are like, oh, you'll put up a photo and they're like, oh, leave him alone, he's just like doing this, and it's surely you're aware of what the internet is.
Exactly.
Like surely you are. It's like people take photos of people all the fucking time. Like any single meme that you've ever laughed at, do you know the person in the photo? No, you don't. Like you just fucking laugh at it. So so I just like, and I guess people will be like, oh, but it's like just a person doing this, and exactly. Like people fucking do shit every fucking day. Some people document it, like and it's just like you said, like I'm not going look at this fucking piece of shit. Like, I'm
Exactly,
not doing
yeah.
that at all. I'm just kind of like sort of writing out what I think is happening in the scenario.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like
yeah.
pointing out the comedy in the situation. Like if some bloke's
Yeah.
about to get his head bashed in, he's like talking real funny, like calling him everything under the sun at a pub and the smokers or whatever. There's
Oh,
a
that-
bit of, there's like a silver lining, I guess, of comedy, like in that situation when like he's like, "Oh, bash your fucking head in, you dog." But in the situation, if I was that bloke that he was yelling at, he's getting yelled at, I would have been fucking scared. My tits would be scared off. But if you're someone like third party recording it, outside looking in, you can turn it into something fucking funny. That's for sure.
Exactly. It'd like sort of take away the actual like reality of it, how intense it is and how violent it is. Like you saying that, like I remember being at a friend's wedding, like out in the bush, and we're on this bus because the bus was leaving the church thing to go to like some other thing to like kick on or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up the back with my missus, and down the front this guy's trying to get on the bus and someone else is having a chat to him, and then the chat kind of escalates and you see it escalating, and then you see the guy go, yeah, fucking yeah, like that. And then everyone kind of looks at each other, and I just went out loud, "Righto, mate, we've all got muscles." And it just kind of like it just like made the back half of the bus laugh, which is great, but it also just made that situation. It made that guy look like what are you doing? Like, you're not fucking tough. You're not. Who are you fucking? Who are you showing, and who are you fucking trying to impress? Like, you just literally like you've cut it down, and that's like when you say about like being in the smokers, and some guys like, yeah, fucking have a go. Oh. My goal when this page started going a bit more, like getting more popular and stuff, I was like, oh, I'd fucking love it if like you're out in that sort of situation and like it's kicking off and someone just goes, "Righto, fucking blokes of the world over here."
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, oh, that's exactly the intent, because it's like, just bring it back to being like, this is ludicrous. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Just taking
fair
piss out of the situation. That's like the whole point. Like every single post I've never seen a post of yours where it's been like, fuck, that's a bit rough, you know, like, oh, he's clearly got something wrong with him, blah, blah, blah. Go look into it. It's always like a comedic relief. Like, it's just something to like take light out of the situation, make it fucking funny.
That's well, yeah, thanks, because that's like that's literally all I want to do is just like, you know. And I've had people message me like, you know, every day, like they laugh, and I'm like, well, that's fucking it. Like, it's just fucking like nothing is worth getting that fucking worked up over. Like, even that one you mentioned, I think before. I'm not whether you're sure you were referring to that one video specifically, but that guy who's like pissed in the fucking beer garden out the front of something, and he's going everyone, like he's just fucking off his head.
It's exactly the same.
So many people message me just going like, "Fucking take that down, it's someone's fucking dad," and I'm like, well, what's he doing? He's like fucking piss taken, trying to fucking start everyone. Like, that's not fucking cool, and I'm not gonna fucking laud him up as like this precious fucking thing when he's doing that. And also it's fucking hilarious because I seriously still can't watch that video without laughing at when halfway through that guy walks past and he goes, "G'day, man, how you going?" Like, why are you just saying hi to people? Trying to de-escalate his mate from killing someone. He goes, "G'day, man, how you going?" I'm like, fucking what?
Is it the Sippy Park or Downey Park? What is it? We'll go to Downey
Bum Park, I think he
Park.
said. I thought it was something else, and then someone was like, "Oh no, it's Bum Park," because we know it. And I'm like, "Oh right, okay, fair enough."
We'll go to Bum Park.
Yeah, I read the caption. I guess we're all going to Bum Park. Like, fuck you. I guess we're going, aren't we?
You mentioned before, and it's kind of a question that I had to ask. That like this has kind of affected your life and got into it. Have you ever had any like confrontation, any issues?
Yeah. Family, big time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's fucking shit actually. But like I mean, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm kind of like, but you know, I guess if it affects how a fucking environment is, then like I'm kind of like, fucking fuck. But basically it was just like a relative was over and it came up it came up in conversation not because it was like, you know, hey, I run this account, it's fucking cool. It wasn't like that at all. All it was I mentioned, and this is like, you know, stupid, but like I can like I like to think that I'm fairly intelligent. Like I can fucking manage life and situations, but
pen and paper,
there's things that like I just can't. And like maybe I've never learnt, and maybe I've never like fucking bothered fucking learning because I don't find it like so. And we started getting into, and basically this person was like, "What do you mean? Like you can't tie your fucking shoes?" And I'm like, "No, not that." Like like doing knots and shit. Yeah, and so we were referring to like I used to work on the Gold Coast City Council, and back in the day, and like you know you get and exactly what we were talking about before about the workplaces, you get those blokes that like do a trucker's knot or trucker's hitch or whatever the fuck they say, and you go and you look at him and you go, what the fuck is that? And he goes, don't know it, and you're like, no. And then he like fucking shows you, but he shows you lightning quick and then goes there and walks off.
Probably just made it up on the spot too.
Yeah, it's like you go like, surely mate, if you went to IKEA and bought yourself a table, you wouldn't just go, you wouldn't like speed through the instructions and go, yeah, I've got it, fuck it. Like you'd read it bit by bit, and I'm like, fucking show me step by step, you cockhead. But like,
I feel like with blokes like that, especially, they would be like buying shit from IKEA, not reading the instructions, and then getting the shits and then kicking a hole through the fucking table.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, he goes and he sits back in the truck, and you fucking randomly tie this fucking thing, and then you start driving. You're on the highway, and he looks in his mirror, and he's like, "Hey, that fucking thing slipped out. Did you do or not?" And you're like, fuck. And then he has to get out and tie the knot, and that's the worst thing he's ever had to do.
Oh,
gets back in the truck and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And now it's fucked. And it's like, what? Like, so yeah, we started talking about stuff like that, and then my page got mentioned because it was in that ballpark, and definitely. It just got into like, you're putting words into people's mouths, and you're doing this and you're doing that. I'm like, oh my god, it is not that. And so it was a big back and forward, and then a blow up. But yeah, so that's kind of one thing that's happened. But yeah,
well, that's like the point of comedy in itself. Really, is it's subjective. So there's people that's not going to like it. People are going to find it, offensive. But that's the whole point, really. Like if someone gets offended by it, like just don't watch it, don't look at it. You know what I mean? You don't have to. No one's forcing you to go through your page or whatever.
I find that really bizarre. Like I really do, because like I follow a lot of fucking Instagram accounts from like other accounts I have, and like things will come up where I'm like, oh, I fucking hate that. I hate it. Yeah. And do I fucking go, all right, I'm gonna message him and tell him? Like, I've had people message. Yeah, I've had people message me and just go like, geez, you low on content, are you? And you're like, what? Like, what
are you talking about?
Like, okay, fair enough.
One person doesn't enjoy it.
Yeah, and like just the shit I've had to bat away is just like, really, like, why are you bothering?
There's some really bored people out there, eh?
The only thing I've ever fucking direct messaged like pages like that on Instagram is like usually fucking musicians that I like, and I'll be pissed at 3 a.m. I'm like, you're so great. and then you like get up in the morning, it's like red, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh fuck.
What was I doing?
It's just all slurred, just all typo. It makes no fucking sense. It's like only thing you can read is love you.
Yeah, well, it's those weird things where it's just like you actually have access to fucking like idols and shit. Like you have access to it. Like it's you can just go, like I purposely now, and she fucking would not read it at all. Like, and I think it actually says she won't read this. But like, I absolutely every day message Billie Eilish and just go, no good, Bill, mate, no good. So now I've switched because she's not reading them. I've switched it to comments. So you go on her page and it's like she has 10,000 comments, and like she put up a thing the other day where it was her just like quick things of her hanging out, and I just go, looks like a ripper day, Bill. Like,
you
just
could look at
fucking-
it at some point if you keep trying, bro.
I hope so. It'd be
Keep your
great.
head down, you keep working at it, keep chipping
Yeah,
away.
yeah. So eventually she'll fucking write back.
Yeah.
But
Still
It's like
cave
me
in.
and Michelle Obama, bro. I've been trying to get into her DMs through, well, hers or his. We had a bit of an issue with that one.
who is it?
Michelle
Oh,
Obama.
you know Michelle
Oh,
Obama?
yeah.
Yeah,
We had
so
thing in November. Like it was like the second or it's like the first
I
episode.
think
wasn't
second
it?
episode.
Second episode. We did like a news
I,
segment.
I
Yeah.
presented my, well, it's not my conspiracy theory. And I'll be honest, this kind of goes back to what you were saying before about it just being fucking funny. And if you like it, then like it. If you don't, then fucking move on.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was presented my argument, well, the internet's argument, which honestly, it's just a piss take. It's fucking hilarious. That Michelle Obama could, in fact, be a man.
Right. Yeah.
And you get through the first couple points, and it's like, oh yeah, there's not much there. It is funny though, and then you get into a few serious ones, and it's like, oh shit, you know, like if it were to be true, then it'd be like, oh fuck, that's funny. But if it's not, it's still just a bit of a laugh. And we've either had reactions where people have gone, it's fucking hilarious, keep it up, whatever. Yeah, I mean, we're a relatively small podcast, but like just within our fucking friend group sort of area. I've had a few call it like Jimmy and I are sexist, racist, and I'm like, how is that fucking sexist or racist? Like, I literally just put some things up I found on the internet, and if you don't like it, then fuck, leave me alone.
Well, it's also like fucking make a fucking executive decision in your fucking head about what you think is real and not real. Like, you know,
if you believe me, then like, are you alright?
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you don't know that it's fake, then
are you
like,
okay? Like,
there's honestly like a small handful of things that I've come across on the internet where I've gone, oh, I don't know whether that's real or not.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I'm like, that's not real.
I
Yeah,
literally
exactly.
read out a like minute disclaimer at the start of the presentation. Now here it is. I personally do not entirely believe that Michelle Obama is a man. This is merely a collection of talking points that have circulated throughout the community, leading to believe that Michelle is a man named Michael. Michelle is obviously a loving, caring woman who has paved a path for young women to be independent, proud, and achieve their dreams. However, if this information was to be true, I wouldn't be lying and saying that I didn't find it fucking funny. Well,
But like, it's the thing with the internet is that like there is so much fucking garbage on there spread around that like there's so many things on there where it's just like, oh, that might be like a fucking legitimate thing. That might be like a thing that's not fucking, or like just even especially now with like how many conspiracy theories and stuff there is. It's just like you hear the most ludicrous shit.
yeah.
And you just have to go, and exactly what I said, you just have to make that decision in your head of like, no, that's just fucking stupid. And he's having a laugh.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And like, like with, in regards to my page and stuff, it's like, yeah, people form those opinions in their head and then spew it out to you in a direct message. And majority of the time it's really like born out of anger.
Yeah.
So they kind of go pretty hard at you, like straight away. Like I've had a guy like, you know, he's like, I hope your mum gets cancer and stuff, like all this sort of shit. And you're like,
Yeah,
but this is the crazy thing. Yeah, well, yeah, you try to be.
Anonymous like Instagram account and just have like an anime profile picture with like Fat Andy 123.
Oh yeah, you can usually tell when you go check on their profile and they've got like 0 posts and 2 followers. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hero. Well,
Anime
yeah, it's
Goth
just
City.
Yeah.
people just look for an argument and for the sake of having to go, and I'm fine with that. Everyone just has their thing, but like, again, if you're taking me seriously, then I don't know. I gotta say you're a psychiatrist or something, man. You obviously can't read a room.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Well, he was fucking
I don't know.
Alex Jones or something that's like started the conspiracy anyway. You know, and he,
Yeah.
you know, in the info
Oh,
wars guy.
Of course he did. Of course
Yeah.
he did.
So it was just taken
Mental.
from that and just, you know, put a bit of a fucking funny twist on it, and then
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah.
we used to post
To be fair, like
clips
he's
on YouTube,
Mm.
and it was like the second video, and it got taken down within 2 days for malicious harassment.
Yeah,
We got a
right.
community strike for it, so we've sort of just stopped doing that.
Yeah,
fucked it off.
yeah.
I wanted to
they
know
just-
what made you want to start the Blokes of the World Instagram.
Well, I didn't really. Yeah, I kind of wanted to, I guess, but like, I actually just used to share photos between me and my brother, and then someone else, and it'd just go, it's just like a fucking group chat that you had on Facebook or whatever, and I had like a few other accounts that like were just nothing. Like I don't know, I posted a couple of things, but nothing like eventuated. And then I was like, oh fucking, I was going through my phone. I'm like, why have I got all these fucking photos of like blokes, just weird things of blokes? And I'm like, oh, that's really funny. Like, I should just like
pretty good use.
Yeah, put them into an account. So I did, and like, I don't know why I fucking thought blokes of the world. I was just like, fucking whatever. And then I thought to myself, oh, maybe like, it'll sort of, I can, sort of like in that way, I can keep it fairly broad.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to like specifically make it Australian. It doesn't need to be like this. Like you're not sort of locking yourself into like, if I went like a blokes of fucking, some fucking Dero mall
Kazakhstan.
somewhere, then you're limited to, like how it's like people of Walmart. It's like you've got people of Walmart, like that's it, or like people of Bunnings or whatever the fuck. You'd have to have everything shot in Bunnings or every photo be in Bunnings. Yeah. So I was like, oh, blokes of the world, like it'll just be really broad. And then all I would do was just put up a photo and I'd just write like something bloke. Like that was it.
Yeah.
And nothing else. Like I didn't do any captions whatsoever. I'd just like, it'd be literally like a bloke holding fucking a thing of milk and I'd go, milk bloke. Like there's just nothing. And then I sort of got to a point where I had maybe like a few hundred followers, like maybe like 300, 400, 500, I think.
Yeah.
And like very low. And then I was like, I'm going to change it. Like I'm going to actually write what I think's happening, or some sort of, I guess, just expand the captions. So I started doing that. And then like I started getting messages like, it was better when you did just bloke. I was like, I remember one day I was in a really shitty mood, and like I was getting in my car to go to work, and like some guy messaged me and he's like, it was better when you just did bloke, it was funnier. And I wrote back, oi, go and get a piece of paper and write bloke on it and fucking stare at it, you fuckhead. If you're so into that word, just do it at home.
Oh my God. Not even laughing at the photo.
Yeah, exactly.
Little giggle to himself.
Yeah. So I started doing that, and then I think it was I put up some video of these cancel dudes like playing a prank on some dude where he falls in like some water, and I just made the caption like complete stitch up on fucking so and so, and I was out at a fucking shopping center, like I was parked, and I looked down at my phone, it was just lighting up non-stop, and I was like, what's going on with this? And it was that Brown Cardigan had fucking shared it, so from there it just kind of went pretty mental. But,
fuck yeah.
That's also a fucking good page. I love Brown Cardigan too.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're so good. They're all really nice as well. Super nice.
Is it only just you that runs the Blokes of the World page?
Yeah.
Okay, so no other executive staff, not your brother or you should be speaking.
No, like my brother and I have that banter between each other. Like I think even like he's gonna fucking hate me saying this, but do you know that I run the page Posh Fox as well? Things don't say. Which I was actually like that was so dumb. I was actually sitting at home one day watching an interview with PJ Harvey and how she speaks. Like she's from Dorset, so she's very like, hello, like, and I was just like, and then I just started doing that accent and saying ridiculous shit in it. And I was like, oh, I should make a page that's shit PJ Harvey wouldn't say. It's just like, and then I'm like, oh, that's a bit specific. And then I made it Posh Fox, and then I was like, oh, that'll be something I can do. But
even the names themselves are funny, eh? Like Posh Fox is just a fucking name.
You got Shields of the World too.
Yeah, Shields of the World. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get some actual Sheilas to run that with me, but it's hard when you're like not, you know,
speak like a Sheila when you're not one.
Exactly. Like I get so many like fucking I'll see so many like Sheila fucking base things, and I'm like, you know, I want to write this caption, and then I'm like, no, that's not going to be seen as good at all.
Yeah.
I need someone else that has that perspective to do
Just
it.
need that plausible
Pass the
deniability.
blame on.
Yeah, but with the posh fucks thing, like, yeah, most of those things are just shit my dad says, which is like, my dad's fucking honestly, like, I think I told one of you guys that I was starting a podcast for Blokes of the World.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of like, yeah, just it's fucking mental trying to do it. I was literally just going to be like, I was going to do a couple of things, and then I was just going to ring my dad and just sit there and talk to my dad, because he just fucking, he'll just come up with shit, which it just makes me laugh. But like, so the majority of those are just shit he's said. And I think there was one recently where I was just like, oh, I'm never going back to that brothel. The bird had saladas on a bedside table, and that's for my brother. My brother goes, "Oh, I went to the knock shop," and I was like, "Oh yeah," and he goes, "Fucking, she had saladas on her fucking bedside." I was like, "Oh shit! How do you fucking how the fuck?" Well, I know they're
your biggest concern.
yeah, but also they're the things that I fucking love. Like, they're the things that I love so much. It's like, you go in, it's obviously like a strange environment. Like, if you've ever been to a fucking brothel, they're fucking weird. And yeah, you go in, and then you don't notice saladas, and you go, oh, you get a bit peckish, do you, love? Like, I don't know. It's just fucking.
Just reading some of them now, they're fucking hilarious.
Not you when
Like,
you're hungry, brother.
It's just so like contradicting. Like, you have this old white English dude with like a rifle next to his like fucking obviously expensive dog. Just saying, quote, "Fucking stick up your ass, you fucking white maggot."
Yeah, and that's from like I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it, but like I spent most of my life living in Albury.
Oh,
So,
right, yeah.
So like, I used to go to the footy with, like, the country footy with my dad all the time. So I'm like knee high, fucking going around and just hearing these blokes with fucking mustaches and mullets and just holding cans and cigs at the same time and just going like, "You fucking white maggot," and you're just like, Jesus, like, you know, like those type of blokes, they don't fucking read into like how it affects a child's memory. Like, that sat with me for fucking years. Years that sat with me, and it's just like, yeah.
Fucking God, there's one here. I'm just fucking cackling at it. It's like, fuck no, mate. She's got a face like a carpet fitter's knee, but she chopped the chrome of a fucking tow bar, eh?
Yeah. That's shit you hear, though. Like, every single job I've had.
Yeah. There's always one at least in every workplace, I reckon.
Yeah, and I guess like I'm one of those. I guess like I've lived in share houses as well, where like the people that I live with have not fucking done the jobs I've done.
Yeah.
So they go to work and they'd come home and they'd be like, "How's work?" And they're like, "Yeah, all right. We've got this thing where, like, you know, someone's trying to like access this thing and da-da-da." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" Fucking reg decked fucking Darren today. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I saw an actual blue after the toolbox meeting. It was fucking wild. Like, it's just shit. Like, I remember working on the Gold Coast Council, and like, I only did like a bit over a year there. Like, I didn't do much because I didn't really enjoy it. But like, I was working there, and they were like, it was Friday Arvo, and they're like, "Oh, we're going for a drink. We're going to the pub for some beers." I was like, "Yeah, fucking all right, cool." Like, you know, I'm stoked on that. We get down, we drive down to the fucking tavern, and we walk in. It's Topless Friday, so it was fucking, like, right. Everyone's down there in their fucking high vis, and there's just tits out, and I was just like, I don't know, like, maybe I wasn't exposed to it early, but like, I was just like, I was kind of young, and I was just to be like, this is fucking wild. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then it's just all that kind of language comes out, which is all like just completely off the books. It's like, you shouldn't say that stuff. Still, you know.
No one gives a fuck if it's politically correct or anything. None of that
at all. No one cares.
Did you have any?
Oh, you go.
Sorry, do you have a favorite type of bloke? So either like a crackhead, pisshead, fuckhead, any one of them?
My favorite's just always like the really like even someone like you know the videos that I've posted of Skull, where it's like see you tomorrow Skull.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Blokes like that are the best. Like they're always the best because like they don't have like any kind of vindictiveness or anything in them. It's just like
It's
know
funny. It's honestly
and
funny.
also just the initial reactions to things are just so funny. It's like see you tomorrow Skull, and he goes like fuck you will, like that cracks me up. Like it's not much, but it makes me laugh the most. Like it's just always that. And yeah, in terms of like I don't know, sometimes with crackheads it can go either way, but like in all honesty, like dudes that are geared up and have like a lot to say usually fucking pretty funny as well.
You know what's a fucking gold one that you have is the bloke that's like, we've been having amphetamines before you're even born, cunt.
Yeah, it's like
That
conversations like that, right?
So funny, man.
And also, it's just like, what? How is that an achievement?
It's
Like,
so funny.
it's not like, yeah, I'll fucking do drugs. Oh, yeah, all right.
Righto, mate.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that would have been a perfect spot for when you were saying before, it's like, oh, bloke of the world over here.
Yeah,
Righto,
exactly.
mate.
Yeah, those situations, and like when dudes, and I think there's a few on there, but like blokes that start talking about blokes that talk about fighting. It's
fucking
hilarious to me because they're always like in the big, and they're like, yeah, if you want to dip down, and then you fucking do this. And you're like, and then you see them in a fight, and they're fucking. It's all haymakers, and they're falling over and shit. It's like, what? What happened to you dipping down, mate?
That bloke, I think it was on your story the other day, and he was like just going crazy, whacked his head against the car, and then just get one punch.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, that was so on some. Oh, that's just
That
fucking...
one was fucked. There's heaps of those, eh? There's definitely.
Why do you do
certain
that?
so
Why would you
funny.
headbutt a car before a fight? It's weird because like when you're in a fight, it's like, oh, the last thing you want to do in a fight is get hit in the head because you could fucking get knocked out, and he does it to himself.
Does it anyway.
Yeah, it's like
Definitely like
fair enough.
concussed himself with it too.
Yeah,
Just, like,
exactly.
needed a little tap to push him over the edge.
Have you ever had like the opportunity or chance or bumped into any of these fellows that you've put up on your page?
No, fuck no.
No, not yet.
Fuck that.
I was gonna say, I was hoping at some point you come across one of them because I go to sleep and pray every night that I get to meet Mad Dog at some point in my life.
I know I don't know. It's like that thing of like I don't know if you've ever heard where it's like where people say about talking to animals. It's like, oh, imagine talking to animals, how good that would be. And it's like, well, no, it wouldn't fucking work because if you like sat down and had a conversation with a lion, like all of his frames of reference would just be completely obscure to you. Like like he doesn't go, oh, I was eating some meat today. Like he wouldn't talk like that. He'd say fucking the most weird, like he wouldn't even know. And I think that's what Mad Dog would be like. He'd sit down and go, so what's going on? And then he just like, whoa, I don't know what you fucking said.
I guess it's a bit of a police sort of post, but for anyone listening who may have contact or whereabouts of Mad Dog, we'd be pretty well interested to peek into his mind.
I think when he was first, like, I think it was Brown Cardigan shared him earlier, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, when that was like, I remember actually going, oh, he lives, like going through comments and going, he lives here. Fucking let's go there for a holiday.
Yeah. Fucking Newcastle. That'd be wild.
Yeah, but no, don't think I have. I've seen people that have, like photos that I've been sent in. If it's near where I, or it's a place that I go to, I've probably seen. Like I think there's one post up there where it's some dude in like full AC/DC gear, like jacket, hat, like everything,
Nice.
and he's loading up his shit from his trolley onto the conveyor belt, and he's got Fruit Loops in his fucking trolley, And I think I just put the caption up as like, "Oh, beauty, Trace, you remember me, Fruit Loops," like, which just makes me laugh so much. Like, fuck you, oh, beauty, thanks, love. Yeah, they have them in the morning.
One we fucking have that you've posted actually, and he goes to like our local, and he's like just this real old leathery looking cunt,
fuck,
and he's got
he's
just
not good.
the most elegant like grey silver fox mullet. And there's just a photo of him like on like the main road on the outside of the pub, hands on hips, staring up at the sign. And it's just the funniest fucking thing. It's just, you see ones you know, and it just makes it so much funnier.
Yeah,
To be
exactly.
fair, he's got a bit of a fucking backstory to him too. He's German, which he's already so hard to understand already. The accent just makes it fucking harder. Two, he's been kicked out of the joint that we go to for fucking sexual harassment. I don't know how many times. Three, he's in like a gabble of blokes. Like they come in on like a Tuesday at about 4 o'clock, and they're there about 5-6 days a week, around between 4 in the hour and probably about 10.
Yeah. What does he do? What's the
like,
sexual harassment stuff?
So, like, I was there with a mate.
Just fucking talking to bar chicks and stuff?
Yeah, so one of my mate's sisters, I think, got hit on.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, it'll fuck off. And apparently he got a bit too comfortable, and old mate's like, yeah, no, see you, brother. And he just does that every weekend.
Yeah, right.
And I was sitting there with a mate, and he comes up, and he was like, fuck, I'm going to butcher a German accent. No, it's Belgian. No, he's like, he,
let's get cancelled on the
999. There we go. So what are you doing here? And I'm like, fucking just here with a mate having a beer. Oh, you're not here for girls? And I'm like, no, cunt, just here having a beer. What are you, a bunch of fags? And I'm like, no.
So he's like,
here having a beer. He thinks that going to the pub at 4 is he's knock shopping your.
Yeah. So he's like, he hasn't had sex in a long time, and he's just like, this is the time. This is the time for me.
The thing is, I did dig a little bit deeper, and I found his Facebook. So I'm pretty sure he's pretty happily married to his Bali bride.
Yeah.
Sure. And there's this classic photo of him in Bali. I don't know why.
Surely
this
not.
Bali.
Surely he's not happy.
And he's fucking. Him and his mate are like fucking brothers in arms, holding up this Confederate flag in the middle of Bali. I'm like,
Jesus.
Brother.
Yeah, that's rough.
So,
but that's the thing as well. Is like, if I come across that kind of stuff, like especially early on, that was a big thing because I used to fucking haul all the content myself. So like I'd go, I'm in so many fucking groups on Facebook.
You go around the country and take photos, yeah.
Well, for a bit, I was taking photos. Like I wasn't around the country, but just where I am. But I would take them. I would fucking go on Facebook. I would fucking source these photos, but I'd always make it like. I'd always find a profile, and I'd be like, "Oh, this is like a full-on like bloke," and I'd scroll through, and eventually I'd hit something which is like. Don't like our country. Go back to where you came from. I'll be like, all right, you're going up. Fuck you. Like, because I'm like, well, you've dug your hole already. You've put your sort of self out there on the internet as a piece of shit. So fuck it. And like, but then still, I wouldn't make the caption like, look at this fucking piece of shit. He's racist. Blah blah blah. Like I'd just
get
make
people
it
to go
into
attack him and shit.
I've done that to a couple of people, but they've been like they're like top end of like the cunty behavior, like how people have messaged me and said like really horrendous shit.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
I will share those. Like, I will just go fucking call this guy out.
Well, yeah, especially if,
said something horrible.
Like if you're gonna talk all that shit, you better be ready to back it up too. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna talk.
But you know King Percy.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, so he'll message me. Like him and I started talking like a while back, and it was really great. And he's fucking super nice. And he would post like he would screenshot some of like the racist comments he gets, and like I'd write to him and I go, hey dude, like what the fuck, like, and he's like, man, like this is fucked. And I just go, oh, I'm gonna check if he follows me, and the person would, like, they would follow me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I fucking blocked him, mate. And he's just like, yeah, cheers. Like, and I go, oh, if you ever see anything like that on my page, like, fucking message me and call it out, because I'll rip him. And like, I think there's been a couple where he's had like racist shit written to him, and I've like screenshotted the profile or whatever and put it up. But yeah, like, it's just like fucking like, why that?
Yeah, heaps of fucking low lives.
Very weird to me to like, you know, to
there we go.
Hey, but yeah, very weird to choose that as like your fucking agenda. Your way of like, your agenda, and like, it's just fucked.
Oh, look, I've seen some cretins in my time, and especially in Queensland, like, the fucking higher you go, it's just unreal. But like,
Queensland's great for it.
Oh, fucking oath. Mate, you can't go anywhere with like not seeing a bloke, really.
Yeah. No way. Yeah.
There's a bogan belt that's like spans between, I'd say, let me get a map up. Because I usually drive up to like Woodgate for holidays and stuff. It spans between probably about Townsville, from Bundaberg to Townsville. It's just fucking hilarious.
Shit fight.
It's fucking hilarious.
There's actually a post, because for a bit I was writing these really long captions. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah, they're
really long ones.
They're funny too. I love them.
Well, someone's like messaged me back when I'd done a few of those, and they're like, fucking, those long captions you do are so fucking funny. And I was like, oh, it's a true story. Like, that's real.
Yeah.
And then like, they're like, no, fuck. And I'm like, fucking is. So like, there's one which is Rockhampton.
Yeah.
So like I said, I used to work on the Gold Coast City Council, and so I was working with this probably like mid-30s like dude who was from Rocky, but had moved to the Goldie, and like literally like fucking, you know, we'd do our morning, whatever we had to do, and then we'd jump in the truck, and he wouldn't say. It got to the point where he wouldn't say anything to me. Like, he wouldn't say, I'll just head home. He wouldn't say it. I just knew. I'm just like, get in the truck, drives to his house, smack a few cones, and then he gets back in the truck. So he's just driving me around fucking stoned as fuck. And I'm like, righto, this is just how it is, I guess. But he was from Rocky. And he went up there for the weekend. And, you know, comes to Monday, and I get in, like, it's always early. Like, I get in, and I'm like, hey. I go, how was Rocky? And he goes, oh, yeah, it was good. Yeah, fucking, pretty fucking full on, though. And I go, yeah? And he goes, yeah, fucking, we're sitting in the lounge room, in the kitchen, and we're fucking just having a few beers. And my brother's daughter comes in, and she's all crying and stuff, and he's like, what's going on? And she's just like, oh, the boy next door, he hit me in the arm, or blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, right, fuck that. So he goes outside, and he's like, oi! Like, yells out. Because you don't go knock at the door. Hey! You just yell out. And they come out, and they're like, what? And he's just like, you fucking kid hit my kid. And like, he reckons three of them walked up to him, and they stood like maybe a meter away from him.
Yeah.
And they're like, fucking give a fuck, mate. You know, that kind of, like, they don't care.
No.
They're like, fucking good. Like, I'm teaching him right then.
Yeah.
And, so they're there, and they're having like this standoff, which is just kind of like, he's like, your fucking kid hit my kid, you know. And from what I've seen, like, because I'm a dad, and what I've seen of like going to the park and stuff, if your kid fucking in any way injures another kid, you turn to the parent, you go, sorry, like, yeah. And then it's this exchange of like, oh no, it's all good, it's kids, they're fucked.
It happens, yeah.
And then you go, oh, this is just like, don't give a shit, mate, fuck it.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah. And so one of the guys from the house that doesn't give a fuck, had a dog on a chain, and it's like he's holding it back. And apparently, this guy that I work with, his brother said, in the midst of this fucking don't give a shit fucking he just points at the dog and goes, "You let that dog off that chain, and I'll rip it in half and beat you to death with the wet bits." And that's what he told me on a Monday morning. I couldn't fucking breathe. I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. I was like, no way did he say that. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, fucking what? What? Are you fucking serious? He's like, yeah, no, he fucking said it. And I'm like, wow. Never heard that in my life, but I fucking love it.
I believe it too. There's not one inkling in my body that denies that happened.
Yeah, exactly. And the point as well. Like, just fucking, I mean it too, cunt.
Walking over like he's carrying the groceries in as well, like the invisible lat syndrome.
Yeah, but then this is the funny thing too. Like I've got a dog, right, and he's a fucking Maremma. Like he's fucking huge. He's like he's fucking 6 months old, and he's like I just don't even know what he's going to be like in a year because he's giant. Yeah. And I was walking him the other day, and like I said, I live in the bush, so like I'm walking through, and it's just like quiet. It's just trees. Mm. And next thing, this fucking dog starts running at us. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then another one comes. I'm like, oh, shit. And I grabbed him by the harness and, like, pulled him up. Like, it was just adrenaline. Like, I literally just lifted this, like, 40-kilo dog into the air. And I'm like that. And they're, like, right at me. And I'm like, where the fuck have they come from? Like, I'm in the bush. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then, anyway, they fuck off. They run away.
Yeah.
And so I sort of put my dog back down. I'm like, put him on the lead, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. That was really fucking scary. Then next thing, they come back, and I'm like, like, they're fuck. And this time the other one goes around behind me, and I'm like, oh, get fucked. They're fucking circling me like they're going to fucking attack.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep walking, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I look up, and there's just this bloke just standing up on a little bit of a hill watching it happen. And I look at him, and I put my dog down, and I went, well, this is your opportunity, isn't it? So I just go, mate, put your dog on a fucking lead or I'll rip it in half. And then it was on. Him and I were just going at it in the middle of the bush, just going, and this is how it ended. Like, we're just going, I'm like, I'll rip it in half. And he goes, they're not doing anything. I go, fucking put it on a fucking lead. He goes, oi, fuck you. And I'm like, yeah, you want to go? Like that. And he's like, yeah, fucking come on. So I start walking up the hill because he wants to have a go. I was like, well, fuck, we might as well have a fight. We got nothing on. And I get halfway up the hill, and he said something else, and then I go, you're a fuck. I go, fucking fuck this, whatever I said. And then he goes, you're a fucking dick, mate. And I went, how long did it take you to think of that? And then it ended. But to me, like, I was like, that was great. I really enjoyed that.
Fucking bit of a rush.
It's times like that you wish someone was there with a fucking camera, Fucking
but also where it is, it's so fucking quiet. Can you imagine like walking like, because literally like 20 meters over past a creek, there's like a footpath where people ride their bikes and walk. Yep. Imagine just walking along and just hearing this, you fucking cunt. Just like, what's going on?
His dog's going off. Keep walking up the hill.
Just people like fucking threatening each other for no reason.
It's like going through Queensland. You wind your window down at any point between that fucking belt between Gladstone and Bundaberg and Thingo.
Yeah.
And you hear something.
Oh,
like, no matter fucking what.
I have a real Queensland thing for you. Like, and this is legit too. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't make up shit for the sake of it. Like, all the things that I've put into like Blokes of the World and put into captions that are legit, that are like real, like, they're just things that I've fucking heard, and I'm like, they're so beyond comprehension that it's just like, wow, that couldn't be real. And it's like, it fucking really happened. It's like my he's not really my cousin, but like he's sort of like a, it's one of those like where the family kind of have two fucking fathers or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, he fucking he was on Centrelink and had, I can't remember whether I think he'd broken his leg maybe or something, but he was on crutches, so he was in line at Centrelink to hand in his form. And I haven't been on Centrelink in years, so I don't know how the process is now. But back then, it was like you'd go and hand. Well, it's always Centrelink's just like that's their thing.
Fucking general.
It's just like let's be fucked.
Make it as hard as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was when you have to like go and wait in line and hand your form in.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he's in line on crutches. He's waiting there to hand his form in. He fucking hates it. Like he's just he's like he would rather be working. He's just one of those people who's like, I fucking hate that I have to be here. I'd rather be working.
Yeah.
And which I'm sure a lot of them are.
Yeah,
but this guy that came in, I don't think maybe. But anyway, he's like standing there on crutches. He's like, fucking gotta hand my form in. And then this guy just walks in with just shorts on. That's it.
Yeah.
Just the ruggers. No shirt, no shoes. Carrying a 6-pack of 4X.
Oh.
Walks past the line. He doesn't get into the line. He walks past the line. Puts his form on the table, like at the bench, and just goes, "Haven't got time, love. See ya." And then walked out. I'm like, holy shit! Like, can you just do that? Yeah, just amazing. Like when he told me, I was just like, "That's the fucking greatest thing I've ever heard." Haven't got time. Got time to pick up a 6er though, so
Drinking on the way home. We got to
exactly.
Nice waiting.
It's also like clearly I haven't got time. I'm gonna be drinking these.
Lifts up the 6.
Busy fucking day, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah, what sums up Queensland the most, Great Northern State or whatever, but it goes back to Rocky too.
Yeah.
In the middle of the Rocky, they got this like intersection where it's the busiest thing, and it's big grazing country out there. So pride and joy of the town is this big copper bull.
Yeah.
They have right in the middle.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as they put it in, first night someone came out with like a fucking metal cut off the balls.
Of course.
And anyway, council put it back on. Another 5 times that happened, and now the thing's just got a like mound. And I think that just sums up Rocky.
It's always the way, right?
Yeah.
It's just like we're unveiling this thing. It'll be great for the community.
Speaking of places, where would you say you found, met, or seen probably the most blokes in this country that you've been to so far?
Oh fuck! I actually got asked this like a couple of weeks ago. It's so hard to fucking tell because there are so many pockets like in and so many like nuances to the pockets as well. Like even down here, right? Like everyone would say like Frankston or fucking I don't know, like fucking
Aubrey even.
Yeah, well, fucking yeah. I mean, you could just go back to Aubrey and just sit there, and you'd hear something. But like, I mean, even like somewhere like Belfield here in Melbourne, like there's elements of that fucking that crack me up that I've used in things like I think there's like this really bizarre mall there that's like really old. It's like still stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I used to go there a bit with my work and stuff. And anyway, I drove past it recently, maybe like a year or so ago. I drove past it, and down the side, like it's down an alleyway, is like you go down. There's just like this wooden gate, and you can see a little bit over the gate, so you can see past. Like if you were to go in, what it'd be, and it's literally just dark concrete and shade cloth, right? It's just very like, oh, what the fuck is behind there? But literally on the fucking wooden gate, it just says, massage under new management, ring bell. And you just go like, how fucking dodgy is that place? But like,
Yeah.
But even like a suburb like that, you know, you wouldn't go past it and go like, oh, fucking, this looks fucking really, like, it is a bit crook, but like, you don't go past it and go, yeah. And then there's just some other places that I've like gone to that I've never been to, like I think with work as well. Like I'd never been to Croydon, and I went down there one day and I went, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And like I went to like what is it? It's fucking out near the airport. It's fucking this mall out there. I remember walking into it and just going, Jesus, did the person that designed this want to kill themselves? Because it's fucked. Like, you just walking around going, this is fucking horrible. And everyone's fucked in it. Like, and those places are the best. Like, those places are always the best because you walk in and it's just like, I hate being here. Like, it makes me feel like shit that I'm in this fucking shithole. Yeah. But holy fuck. Like, look at everyone and look at how they're like, look at how they act, how they talk. Like, all of those things just make it so much more than, because you get people that would go to those places and go, oh, this is not nice. This is horrible. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it is, but holy shit.
Yeah,
like, look at this dude who's yelling at that dude. That's amazing.
There's like, a place, there's a place near me, and it's a shopping center as well. And it's only recently, like probably in the last 3 years, been done up. But before it was probably very similar to the one you were just talking about. And it was just fucked design, like so old. Just all the people in there. Like, honestly, if you went in there with a camera, you'd probably get about 3 months worth of content if you posted 7 times a day. You know what I mean?
And you walk in and the first 3 shops are shut down. Always. You walk in, you go, oh, well, fucking, there's not much to choose from here.
The only place open is like a dodgy sushi place you get salmonella from, a tobacconist, and cold.
And for some reason, the $2 shop always survives.
Yeah, Bargain City. It's always a Bargain City open.
Yeah.
They've
always survived.
In the last like 15 years, it started off like from what I remember as a Crazy Clark's, and then it went to Reject Shop in the same block. And now it's a fucking Bargain City. It has always been like some cheap like $2 store. Like exactly. They must just click together, like all go into the same places.
I love seeing like when you go past places that's like it has a for sale sign and it always says like, you know, amazing discount shop opportunity. It's like, oh, you're locked in, aren't you? You can't change it to something else.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just like, car sale shop there or a Coles or anything. It's got to be.
And it's like, you're like, if you're driving past, you're like, oh, I just need a shop location. Oh, fuck. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Minute the maximum price you can charge is $3.50.
Yeah, exactly. It's just Also, like Preston's great. Like walking down the main drag of Preston's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Because you got like, I don't know if they're still there, but you have a bit of the runoff of like DHS stuff there.
Okay.
But yeah,
there's
Preston Market, man, it's a fucking saga. Like you just go there, you just fucking wow, look at this.
You got to take your hat off and stare.
Oh, you could, literally, like, if you had the time, you could just sit there and just fucking take it all in.
I'm going to a comedy show or anything. Just go to
It's funny.
Mate. I'm sure there's other places that, like, I'm not mentioning and that ones that I've driven through where I just go. Yeah. And that's the thing I do. Like, I'll be driving and then, like, I'll go somewhere I've never been before. And I go, geez, this is a nice place.
Yeah.
And it's like I work in Mill Park.
Yeah.
And like honestly, like it's just
fun.
Does anyone clean up around here or not? No, don't give a fuck. Like I was at work and like obviously that's where I work, but I was like walking along this footpath and it's like the main sort of street, like a lot of heavy traffic and stuff, and next thing I hear this bang, like fucking, you know, like a fucking startled you kind of thing, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck was that? And I turn around and it's some dude across the road. He's practicing his fucking golf driving with a fucking real golf ball, like real fucking golf ball, and he's just hitting it into his neighbour's fence. I'm like, that's fine. so fucking loud. I was just like, whoa. And I look over and I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's fucking normal, isn't it? Just fucking practice me golf. Don't buy the practice balls, mate. No. Just fucking hit into the neighbour's fence.
Oh, he has me swing.
Yeah, fucking. I was just like, this place is fucked. And I think I put up a thing on like maybe Sticks or something where I was just like, oh, nice. Because I just kept saying to myself, geez, nice area here. And then I was like, couple of fuckwits in a Commodore fanging fuck through it, but it's all right. Like, and that was literally it. Like, I'd see like about 7 people all in Commodores, and they're just like giving it giving it a real kick. Yeah. And also, there's a pub there called the Plough Hotel.
Fuck yeah.
And I drove past it one time. They haven't got it now, but like I drove past it, and the sign out the front just said $5 skewies Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell.
Let's go.
You'd see some bloke walk in Friday Arvo and you won't see him till Monday morning.
Exactly. Like 3 fucking nights of just that. Just like, oi, no time limit on it either, cunt. Let's go. Fuck me.
No, as you were saying, there's definitely fucking pockets to it. Like, I grew up in northern Brisbane for the start, and I was definitely in one of those fucking pockets.
Yeah.
And you go up, and looking back on it now, it's like when I was there, that's just how everyone went. Like I remember where I lived on the same street. The house across the road was like falling apart. Family of like 8 were living in the fucking thing. For the 12 years I was there,
6 dogs.
Yeah, 6 dogs, and they played baseball, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And they got this pool at the back, which was literally just black, as in like water was to the brim.
Yeah, always the best.
And they had a state government health sign around it for the whole time I was there. And then our other neighbour was one of the biggest heroin dealers in southeast Queensland. Single mother with a kid.
Legend.
Behind us was a best way to describe them, hillbillies. They let off fireworks every weekend and just cracked whips during the day for fun. And the cops were there. The cops were there once a month. 5 minutes up the road. I remember driving to soccer once. Fucking had like an under-8s game. There's a roadblock, and Dad's like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on here?" "Oh yeah, sorry mate, got a bikie raid. We're raiding out the bikie hangout." And it was like fucking Hell's Angels, fucking in the middle of Everton Park. Literally, the whole suburb was shut down, and it's just shit like that you grow up with, and it's like
like when I lived on the Goldie, I lived in Carrara. But it was like it was like nice. Up on the hill, you know the hill there, like it sort of overlooks Nerang and stuff. But I remember like waking up one morning there, and I sort of went out, and there was like all these cop cars down the bottom of the street, and like police tape around these houses, like these sort of units. And obviously, like when you see shit like that, you're like, it's not fucking small. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And later on, we'd found out that it was a mum had been out at a party, and some guy had been like fucking, you know, I think they knew each other, but like he was trying to like fucking hit on her, sort of get back with her, kind of whatever the fuck. Yeah. And she was like, no, nothing to do with you. So she went home. He must have followed her home, and she had a 12-year-old fucking daughter who woke up in the middle of the night to this dude standing at the end of her bed. And she flipped the fuck out, obviously. He's fucking like bolted, and then she got up out of her bed like all panicked and ran, and as she's opened the sliding door to get out, like her mum's there dead. Like, so this guy had come in and like killed the mum, right? And that's such a fucking huge thing to happen in your street. Like, that's just so like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
we walk up the road. This guy's standing at the front. I'm only like, how old was I then? I was probably only like 20 maybe. And I go walking up there, and this guy just goes, "You cunts know what's going on?" And you just go like, "Fucking what? How do you explain that to an older man? Like,
wife beater.
Yeah, mate, fucking, bird got her fucking throat cut, so, anyway, how you going? Like, you don't fucking, it's just bizarre to me. Like, and how doesn't he know to fucking, like, sugarcoat it to these kids?
Yeah.
To just go, fuck, that's pretty intense down there, boys.
That's
like,
pretty rough, eh?
Yeah. You don't have any idea. Like, you wouldn't know what's happening, would you? Like, you just get, you can't know what's going on. Going on? Yeah. All right.
Just no filter. No filter.
No,
no
at all.
kids.
Like, ever. And that's the
office.
thing. That's the whole part of, like, what that account is. It's just like, there's no regard, no filter. There's just like, it's just like, let's just say, what the fuck is on my head? Just like fucking fuck.
6-year-olds.
I remember another story where I was fucking living. I went to another like dingy shopping centre in fucking Brisbane North with my mum. I was like 8. We got these shitty ass escalators.
Which suburb in Brisbane?
I'm talking about Brookside.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. I lived in Auchenflower for like.
Oh, Auckland, yeah.
It's
good out there.
Yeah.
So I'm walking up the escalator with my mum, and there's this big commotion going on, and it stimulates out and everything goes back to. But what happened was, it was like 9 in the morning too. Fucking bad time for a robbery. Some bloke's gone up to this old lady at Wallace Bishop, punched her lights out, stole a handbag, and for some reason, one of the blokes at the shop had a taser on him. Not a cop, not a security guard, just had a taser on him.
Yeah.
Tased the fuck out of him, put him in like a fucking arm bar and held him there until security got there, and everyone's like, oh yeah, fuck, no dramas, just move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then
no
just talking to EB Games, like fucking, there's no dramas. Like you just grow up and you see all that, and it's just no fuck. No crimes, no quarrels.
Well, like growing up in Albury, I remember there was this dude, and like that's the thing. Like I actually work in the field that deals with mental health and disability and stuff. So, but back then, none of that is regarded as like. I mean, look, fucking. To be honest, if we're gonna be fucking real, like it's still a shit fight to get people to fucking understand people with disabilities are fucking legitimate humans. Yeah. Like fuck, like I can't believe the amount of times I've had to just be like, really, like that's how you're gonna speak to him. But anyway, like there was a guy in Albury who was, like probably had really, really significant mental health issues, and he ended up murdering someone and going away. But that sort of stuff, like your parents, like your dad, like especially my fucking dad, like he's just like, he's a fucking nutter, that cunt. Like that's what you get, and you just go, all right,
fair enough,
and that's it. It's just like you move on, like, oh, okay, he's a nutter.
One sick puppy, man. Fuck.
Yeah, you can't fucking. Yeah, you don't get explained like, oh, he had this issue, he had this, he had that. It's just like.
That sort of dude. It's
like a loony, mate.
Fucking couple sandwiches short of the picnic.
That.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Like, it's definitely something that's looked over and passed on. Even some of the shit that's not so serious, like schizophrenia and all that. Like, I remember growing up and hearing about schizophrenia. I'm like, what the fuck's that? And he's like, oh, nothing, just an excuse.
What? Like it's just it's that.
Man,
it's totally that. It's just like he's faking it. Fucking right.
Get the magic sponge on him, he'll be right.
But But even working in that field, like I've worked with like people that are just absolute fucking blokes.
Yeah,
like they've done heinous fucking shit, and you'll be like I was. How can I say this without fucking delving into too much shit? But anyway, I was working in like a pretty high structured facility that was like for people with disabilities and mental health issues.
Yeah.
But it had obviously like done some things. So this one guy was there, and I kind of ended up like, I don't know, probably gravitating towards him because he was so fucking such an Aussie fucking larrikin type dude.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, you know, knowing why he's there, you kind of like, oh, fuck's sake, like, he's fucking funny, but fuck.
Yeah.
Like, he's done some really horrible shit. Anyway, I remember one time he's like, he's psych or he's fucking some professional worker or whatever was going to come down and see him at 4 o'clock, and I was like, oh, he's coming at 4. I was just like, check my phone. I was like, that's 4:12. Like, he's not there. So he arcs up. He's like, when's he coming? Is he coming? And he was like, yeah, he said he's coming. Well, what fucking time is it? It's like, it's 4. I like lie to him. And he's like, all right, it'd be late. Like, yeah. And then goes on, gets to like fucking 4:25 or something. Where the fuck is he? Where fucking is he? And I'm like, I don't know, mate. Like that. And then the phone rings, and this other staff answers it, and then comes out and just goes, he's not coming. And he just goes, oh, fuck him, he's sacked. Don't know if you can sack your sock, mate, with where you are, but yeah, love it. And I don't know, from there, like, I was just like, that's like, and I get a lot of shit for like where people just go like, oh, you don't know if they have a mental illness or not, or blah, blah, blah. And it's just like the amount of fucking times that I've hung out with people with any kind of mental illness or what that literally fucking take the piss out of themselves and like fucking laugh like that and fucking take the piss out of other people. It's just like, it's so fucking normal. And it's also like, why can't we treat anyone with any kind of fucking thing like that the same as what we are?
Yeah, well, you know?
It's not about
worse by separating and doing.
Yeah, I'm not like putting up the thing and going, you know, look at this fucking retard, like, which is just a word I just fucking like hate that I said it then, but like I fucking don't use it. But like, you know, I'm not putting up that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like they're fucking like, I work at a house with like guys that are pretty, you know, pretty high functioning sort of people with disabilities, and like me and a few of the boys, like, we go out and we play basketball or whatever, and like fucking, you know, they're not fucking
else, really.
Well, they're not like skillful. They're not like fucking doing this, doing that. They're like shooting from 3, and it's just like whenever they fuck up a shot, like I don't go, fucking what was that, you piece of shit? Like I don't do that, but I'm like, but I'll just go, hey, nah, no way, mate. That's not a fucking like, you know. I'll still rib them. I'll still fucking get into them because I'm trash talking the other staff.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, if I'm trash talking the other staff, but I'm not trash talking them, or if I'm trash talking the other staff and then turning going, take your shot, mate, take your shot. Oh, good job. I'm not. I'm like trash talking the other stuff. Of course, I'm going to trash talk the other dude.
Like, it's honestly worse doing like that. Like, you just
exactly.
You'd be like, oh, better like next time, mate. You know, you'll get the next one. And then your mate goes or your workmate goes, you fucking dare, mate.
Exactly.
Learn to shoot, cunt.
Yeah, like I'll put off the, like, we'll play like 21 or whatever, and I'll put off the other dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, I'll do little things, like he'll just be like, oh, I'm on 12. And I'm like, oh, how about we say if you hit this, you're on 12? And he goes, yeah, well, I'm on 12. And he looks at me and he goes, hang on. And I go, yeah, if you hit this, you're on 12. And he goes, no, I'll be on 13. And I'm like, no, let's just say, though, if you hit this, you're on 12. And he goes, what the fuck? And then he just completely misses it. Like, fucking hits half of the backboard. And like, I'm just like, like, I've fucking fucked with you. Yeah. And then the other guy will take a shot, and I'm not going, oh, now line it up, mate, like that. I'll just do the same to him. I just go, where's this fucking going? And like, he laughs because he's just like, well, I'm in it. I'm in the group. I'm in the fucking thing. Like, yeah. So
that's it. And they get there's heaps more out of that as well. Like, out of those like little interactions and stuff.
Just
being constantly like babied, you know, like saying, only hearing nice things and stuff. You know, if they
exactly
included
just
in
like
a friend group,
creates more problems than it solves, really.
Well, it's just like, why is he exempt, or they exempt from like any kind of fucking, you know, banter or anything like that? It's just like, you know,
For sure.
You know, I've seen the guy drunk, and I'm just like, "Fucking, you're a bit of an emotional drunk, aren't you?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I know." And I'm just like,
I know.
yeah, but you do that with your housemates. You do that with your friends. Like, you come out in the morning, and they're like, and you're like, "Fucking you last night? What the fuck?"
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
right.
what did I do? You know, it's like, yeah.
It's the same. It's the fucking same. It's not like they're like, you know, a different breed or, you know, anything. Like,
And like I've had stuff where, like, I remember I had one video that I put up, which I don't know if you remember it, but like, it was this. I still fucking laugh at it because I think it's great. I actually think it's fucking great. But it was this dude who just got, like, it looks like he's just bought like a fucking pot from the bar, and he fucking scales 3 steps. Like, he just like jumps them. And at the time I put it up, it was when we were in lockdown here, and I was just like, this will be me as soon as I get out of the pub. Fucking pot in the hand, scaling fucking stairs, mate. And I get a message, and it's like, oh, you know, that's my fucking brother. He's autistic. And I'm like, okay, how the fuck do I know that? B, it's the back of his fucking head. There's not one part of him that sees his face. Also, I'm not even saying anything about him being autistic or anything. I'm saying that's me when I go back to the pub. I'll fucking scale 3 stairs because I'll be so happy to be back in a fucking pub. And it was just this whole big back and forth with her until I had to fucking delete it because I was just like, well, I'm not.
Yeah, you're not going to win. With people like that, you're never going to win.
You're not. And I'm also just like, well, I'm not fucking taking the piss out of him. Like, I just think it's fucking great. And it cracks me up. Like, even if I was out at the pub and if someone did that and I was sitting at the pub, I'd go, hey!
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we're on here.
Hey!
You know. Like, yeah, it's just stupid little things like that you fucking like seeing.
But it's like the same thing as we were saying before. It's like, why would you treat someone differently if, like, they do shit like that? Like, if they are pissed as and they slide down the stairs, how would you know if that was someone with a disability opposed to someone that's just pissed out of their fucking mind?
But also, that's you know, I mean, with her, like, she fucking knows the person and fucking takes that sort of thing. But like, but I've even had people, like, I think there was this one which it's probably one of the most I've been asked about, to be honest. But like, it was this old bloke, with a beer, and he's in a pub, and he's like, fucking cheers, like, you gotta neck this, blah blah blah, or whatever, and then he fucking drinks this beer, and it's really cool because he's like fucking 80. And he's like, fucking just rip into it. And and then fucking I get a message, and it's like his fucking daughter, and it's like, she goes, I don't want him to be associated with crackheads and lowlives. And I'm like, Jesus, that's a bit rough to assume that everyone on that page is a lowlife.
Yeah, bloody hell.
And she's like, no, well, like, yeah. And then I'm also like, and she's like, who sent it to you? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to fucking tell you that. But also, it's the bartender that he goes to regularly.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's not like you're
they'd
named
be
and shamed.
Yeah, they'd be mates.
Yeah,
they'd
exactly.
be like, he'd be mates with the bartender, and he'd be like, oi, fucking take a sip, I'll fucking film you for this page. And he would have went, yeah, go for it. And then done it. He probably fucking agreed to it, probably fucking liked it.
Yeah, oath.
But then someone decides that doesn't sit right with them, so they fucking jump on and fucking have a go. And then you're just like, yeah.
It's really annoying when people.
Whereas, like, honestly, ever since I deleted it, all I've had is people going, "Where's that video of the bloke with the beer? He's like an older bloke, and he's saying this, saying that." And I'm just like,
yeah, I remember seeing
daughter
it.
told me to delete it, mate.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, it's annoying when people try to tell you what's funny and what's not. Like what I said before, like right at the start of the episode, like, comedy's fucking subjective. You're not gonna like it, just, you know. And I guess it's because it was her dad or whatever, same thing as before, but still, like. It's not like he had his full name, full address, where he lives, what's his phone number, email, where he works, everything. It would have been a completely anonymous, you know, one of your fucking joke, you know, impersonations, like, oh yeah, have a go at this bloke, like, oh, well, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, have you guys heard Anthony Jeselnik at all?
Oh yeah.
Like, he's just one of those comedians where it's just like, yeah, everyone just goes for the, like, jugular with him. Like, they're just like, he's fucking shit, he's this, and it's just like, why do you bother? Like, why do you bother? It takes more energy to fucking do what you're doing than to just fucking go, well, that's not for me, that type of stuff.
Yeah, people losing
so
sleep
you
over
just
like
fucking pick it up.
comedians.
If you don't like it, put it down.
Yeah,
exactly.
Bill Burr cops a fair bit of that as
Really
well.
that
He
hard.
cops a brunt of it. Like,
He does,
especially his
yeah.
older shit. Like
Bill Burr's funny though in the sense that like when he does do this thing, have you ever noticed that like when he goes on a massive rant, he'll always end it by just going, "What do I know? I'm a fucking dickhead." Or,
Yeah, exactly.
What do I know? I'm fucking I have no idea.
I'm a piece of
like,
shit.
He always ties it off by just going, "I have no idea what I'm talking about."
Exactly. Yeah. There was this one on, I think it was on the Jimmy Fallon show, I think, and he was saying how like women are overrated, and I think that's the one you're talking about. Is when he was like, he's got this like 5 minute like rant of like the audience going ooh ooh, and he's like ooh fucking what, like, and then saying just wrapping it all up. What do I fucking know? I'm just a piece of shit. Don't know anything.
Yeah. Well, I remember he did a joke before I had kids, which was what the fuck is women saying that being a stay-at-home parent is fucking hard. He goes, bullshit. How hard is it to put a DVD in a DVD player? And then he goes, talk to me when you're a redhead tiling roofs in summer. And I'm like, that's pretty shit. Like, what a shit fucking take. And then when I became a kid, when I had kids, like I was just like, oh, that's fucking really funny. Because I know what he means. I know what he means. It's just like it's fucking that hectic to be a parent. That how hard is it to put a DVD in the thing and just sit back? Like, I get it, because it's just like it is fucking full on, and it's just like the DVD just cuts it all out. It's just like, just fucking sit here and watch this. Fuck, you know, like, and it just made sense to me. I was like, that's really cool. But
he's funny.
Yeah, I just think that's it too. I think a lot of people are just like, oh, it doesn't make sense to me, and it's just like, well, it doesn't make sense to you. Like, either find out like what the fuck it means and what's it about, or just fucking just go, wow, that doesn't make sense to me, so fuck it, I'll leave it. There's so many things that I've seen where I'm like, oh, I don't get it, so I don't get it. I don't get it.
Don't
I'll
look
leave.
into it. I just keep scrolling. Like, if it's on, like, you know, like nowadays, like Instagram, like it'd be a clip from like a stand-up show. I'd be like, oh, it's not funny. I'm not gonna fucking look into it, find it. I won't even remember what the comedian's name is, and I'll just keep scrolling. And I'll just fuck it off from my memory. There's
other comedians that I follow, and then they'll share something of another comedian, and I'll go, oh, that's not funny, and so I don't follow that person.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair enough.
You know, I don't go, why are you sharing this shit? It's not funny.
Yeah,
like,
wow. We see that a lot in comedy, but like, take this for example. Like, you start uni, you pick a degree that you don't know about, you hate it, you don't understand it, you just fucking drop it and move to another one. You don't bitch about uni about how shit it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
just messaging,
fucking
emailing
marketing,
the dean.
it sucks. It's fucking.
Why don't you make this easier?
I don't get what you're talking about, mate. I don't get what you're talking about.
What are you bloody talking about?
You're speaking hieroglyphics, mate. Come on.
Well, I just don't know why people fucking take that across. Like, fucking just get over it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, we're getting about to that time, I think. We've been yarning for like an hour and a half already.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Once again, thank you for coming on.
No worries, boys.
An honour, really.
Yeah, it's been an honour. You know, they always tell you to never meet your heroes, but this has been a joyful experience. I reckon.
Just do a quick advertising plugs real quick. Moose Mobile, if you're looking for a cheap, easy plan, hit up Moose Mobile. They won the CanStar Blue Award last year. It's 2021. And the Money Magazine winner for 2021. It's already January and they fucking won. Like, they're doing alright. For 6 gigs, you can get $15 a month, and fucking cheaper going up like that. Optus 4G Plus network, cheap as chips. I'm still not going to pay for this one yet, so I won't put too much effort into it. As always, too, if you're falling on tough times, feel free to always hit us up. Hit up Lifeline, hit up Beyond Blue, and just remember it's always okay to not be okay. Our guest tonight again, Adam. Thank you for coming.
No worries.
But you can find him at Blokes of the World on Instagram if it's not ghosted. And
Blokes of Twitter.
Blokes of Twitter?
Blokes of Twitter.
Twitter?
Yeah.
On Twitter?
I think
most of the stuff on the Twitter I put up, it's like that gets knocked off.
Yeah. all the Zuck shit on Instagram.
Hopefully you can find him.
Yeah.
Anything you need to plug, Adam?
Nah, mate.
Split.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming.
If you're listening this far, just we're still giving a $20 giveaway for our 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Leave the funniest review. We're going to read it out. We've been pushing it back week and week because we're still waiting on ones to come in that I know are still waiting to get processed by fucking Apple because they're taking a million years just to get them on. So if you want to go into the runs to win $20, then give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts with your best review, and we'll announce it hopefully in the next episode if they come through. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Adam. It's been a fucking
no worries, man.
Absolute pleasure.
A great time.
Yeah, cheers.
Always welcome. I'm sure
we'll do it again
sometime.
for sure.
Fucking fun.
Yeah, if you can.
Real great to be talking with you, and I'm sure we'll catch up on the next few months. I'm sure next few weeks even. Who knows? We'll be in contact. My people will talk to your people
For sure. No worries.
We'll
Sounds
be in contact again. Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening.
See you in the next episode.
See you in the next one. See yous.
See ya.
Cheerio. Fucking beauty.